"We need something legally bulletproof," Mike told the small group of neighbors gathered in his garage, now converted into an operations center. Maps of drone flight paths covered one wall, while a whiteboard detailed Patricia's schedule. She flew the drone during her daily power walks, when she actually circled the neighborhood with a controller hidden in her designer fanny pack. Their plan required precision. On Saturday morning, when Patricia typically documented weekend rule breakers, Sarah set up her yoga mat in full view. Tom positioned himself to monitor the drone's approach, while Dave waited in an unmarked car with official paperwork ready. The drone appeared right on schedule, hovering lower than usual, Patricia growing bolder with each successful flight. As it dropped below 15 feet to get a better angle of Sarah, Mike activated the device he'd created, a specialized net launcher disguised as a garden umbrella. The carbon fiber mesh enveloped the drone with a satisfying *whip*, bringing it down gently onto their prepared landing pad. Before Patricia could realize what happened, Dave was at her side on the sidewalk, body camera recording as she frantically manipulated her controller. "Is this your device, ma'am?" he asked, gesturing toward Mike's yard where the captured drone now sat. "I was just checking for HOA violations," Patricia stammered, her perfect posture collapsing slightly. "With an unregistered surveillance device," Dave countered, presenting the warrant they prepared. "I'll need to confiscate that controller as evidence." The community center had never been so packed. Folding chairs creaked under the weight of neighbors who'd previously avoided HOA meetings. At the front, Patricia sat alone at the board table, her usual supporters having mysteriously developed schedule conflicts. Mike connected his laptop to the projector as Dave stood by the exit, officially present to keep the peace. The screen flickered to life, showing a map of the neighborhood overlaid with hundreds of drone flight paths. "For the past 2 months," Mike explained, "Patricia has conducted over 60 unauthorized surveillance operations." He clicked to the next slide, a split screen of drone footage showing backyards, windows, and even children's playrooms. The gasps turned to outraged murmurs when Mike revealed the sorted database Patricia had created, detailed notes on personal activities, visitors, and even conversations recorded through open windows. "This isn't HOA enforcement," Dave stepped forward. "This is criminal invasion of privacy, possible blackmail, and violation of federal drone regulations." When Patricia tried to speak, her microphone mysteriously failed. Tom winked from the AV controls. The emergency vote to remove her was unanimous. The secondary vote to completely restructure the HOA passed with enthusiastic applause. 3 weeks later, Patricia's house went on the market. The day before she left, a courier delivered a package to her door, her drone, professionally cleaned and repaired, with an invoice for $1,246.88 for equipment storage and data forensics. Affixed to its side was an official Sheriff's Department evidence sticker and a small note in Mike's handwriting. Cameras worked both ways. The Thompsons' home became the unofficial neighborhood gathering spot, with Sarah teaching free yoga classes in the very backyard Patricia had surveilled. The new HOA guidelines, drafted by a rotating committee, fit on a single page, with one rule emphasized in bold: respect your neighbor's privacy as you would your own. As for the drone footage, it played on a continuous loop at their annual block party, now ironically called Patricia's Vision for the Neighborhood, where residents laughed together about the time they took down their very own suburban surveillance state. Mike and Sarah Thompson's peaceful suburban life imploded the day Patricia Wilcox's moving truck arrived. With her pearl necklace bouncing against her perpetually pressed blouse, Patricia didn't just move in, she invaded. Within 48 hours, she'd secured the HOA presidency through an emergency election that most residents didn't even know about. "That woman filmed our mailbox with a ruler," whispered Donna from next door, clutching her coffee mug like a shield. "Said it was 3/4 of an inch too far from the curb." Mike laughed it off until the first violation notice appeared on their door, printed on premium cardstock with Patricia's signature in flowing cursive. Their crime: wind chimes that exceeded the newly implemented ambient noise restrictions. The $50 fine seemed absurd, but Mike paid it, hoping to keep the peace. That weekend, while installing a security camera above their garage, after receiving approval through proper channels, Mike caught Patricia photographing their house from different angles. When he waved, she quickly turned away, speaking rapidly into her phone. 3 hours later, his approval for the security camera was mysteriously revoked via email for aesthetic concerns. Sarah was deep in warrior pose when the buzzing started. At first, she dismissed it as a bee, but the mechanical wire grew persistent. Glancing up through her sunglasses, she spotted it. A sleek white drone hovering just above their privacy fence, its camera lens adjusting as it tracked her movements. "Mike, you won't believe this," Sarah said into her phone, ducking behind their patio umbrella. "There's a drone filming me right now. It's just watching." The drone dipped lower, almost taunting her before zipping away toward Patricia's colonial-style home with its perfectly manicured hedges. That evening at dinner, Mike's phone pinged with an HOA email. The subject line read, "VIOLAATION, unauthorized backyard structures." Attached were high-angle photos of their yard, clearly taken from above, with red circles highlighting their yoga platform and meditation bench. "How did she even?" Sarah began. "Zoom in," Mike interrupted, his ET security instincts kicking in. The photo's metadata still contained the GPS coordinates and device information. DJI Mavic 3 Classic, registered to P. Wilcox. Their dinner grew cold as they discovered 3 more neighbors had received similar violations, all with aerial evidence. "She's basically running a surveillance state in a cul-de-sac," Mike explained to his old college roommate Dave, now a sheriff's deputy. They sat in Dave's cruiser parked strategically at the neighborhood entrance. "Technically, drone laws are complicated," Dave said, "but recording people in private spaces without consent? That's straightforward illegal." Mike, who specialized in cybersecurity for a defense contractor, didn't wait for official channels. He installed a modified weather station in their backyard that could track and log the drone's unique radio signature. Within a week, he had documented 17 separate flights, not just over his property, but creating a comprehensive surveillance grid of the entire neighborhood. More disturbing were the patterns. The drone appeared during private gatherings, when new furniture was delivered, and most concerning, when families were away, hovering close to windows and doors. "She's building profiles on everyone," Mike realized, scrolling through his data, and the HOA violations always come exactly 4.5 hours after each flight. His neighbor Tom, a retired engineer, joined their growing resistance, installing a specialized radio frequency analyzer that could intercept the drone's video feed. What they saw chilled them: split-screen recordings of multiple homes, with notes being dictated by Patricia's voice. Possible unapproved paint shade at 1422. Children using restricted play equipment at 1446.